What I'm going to do is give you a simple project from start to finish, but it's a little complex in one way. It's elliptical shaped. So to do an elliptical shaped project, you can't do it here. What you do is you make your width the same length as your ellipse, and you make your height the same height as your ellipse, and the thickness is 1 inch. And I'm going to go off the center because on an ellipse that's the easiest place to do it. Then I'm going to put an ellipse right in the center of it, the same width, which was 14 inches, the same height, which was 6 inches, and you'll see that should fit right inside there. See it? Now I'm going to import a model, so I go to Model, Import, and it's a model that I've downloaded before, so it should be on my desktop in my CNC models. Let's see if it is. There it is, Loon. So I'm going to open that file, and it drops it right in there. Now instead of stretching it using the handles, I'm going to use a tool over here given to us by Vcarve, where it says Select Objects and Transform them. I know that I want to stay back 1 inch here and here. So I'm going to make this 13 inches. Actually, it's a 1/2 inch on either end. So I'm going to make our width 13 inches. And let's see if it'll fit in there. Nope, it's too big. So I'm going to have to go by my height, because I have a maximum height of 5 inches. So that's as big as I can make my Loon picture without distorting it. In other words, I could take it here and stretch it and get the right handle. There it is. And if you don't mind the look of distortion, see how it's distorted? It's elongated. If you don't mind that, then you can go with that. So I can actually stretch it a little bit to fit in there. Let's see how distorted it looks. We'll pin that so it'll stay there. And we're going to do this without a rough cut. We're going to go here and use a 1mm bit. I use a tapered bit, 1mm. Before I do that, let me check something else. So I'm going to close that because I don't know what my height of my model is. That's a little trick I learned a while ago. So I'm going to go down here to on the left side, Modeling tab, and see this one right here? That one tells you the height. So I can actually click on this model and set it to an exact height. And you can play with that. I'm going to try 0.6 on this and hit apply. And I cancel it. Oops. Close this. Say OK. And then go up here to my Finish tool. I click on that. I'm going to use a 1mm. I found with a CNC Shark, if I'm using a 1mm, I can do a 0.2mm step over, which is 20%. This is actually 24,000 is what I run it at. It seems to work well. 150 inches per minute, and plunge of 40 is fine. Say OK. And then I'm going to give it a name, Loon. I'm going to call it an oval instead of an ellipse because it takes up less words. Loon oval plaque. And I like to tell it dimensions, and I do that because when I get out there I'll know which board I had designed it to use. So it's actually going to be a 14 by 6, and I'm using a 1mm bit. So I say calculate. You notice down here in the bottom it's spinning and working. Then I'm going to preview this. And it's set for black. I'm going to, let's do brown. So it's not too distorted. It's a little bit distorted, but it looks pretty good. even though I stretched it. Okay, now the last step is close this. I'd ask if you're happy with it, but you can't talk to me, so I'll save it. And I use my CNC Shark USB arcs, inches, wildcard, and then tap file. All these files are tap files. And you save it to your flash drive. See, it says this PC. One of the things I like to do before I save this is I come up here and save this file. Because once in a while, and I save it to documents, and I have a section that's called plaques. And right there. And this one will be a new folder, Loon, so that I know inside there are the plaques that are Loon plaques. And this is an oval plaque, 14 by 6 inches. Oops. And it's important that you save this stuff, because otherwise you'll have a hard time. Now if you notice, it's went back to the PC. Now we'll go to our cruiser, and it'll be the same. Save it. And if I do a save again, it'll tell me whether it's there. See it right there? And that's my tap file. And it tells you over here it's a Gcode file. So when I look at it out on the machine, we'll do that next. I've got a project running right now, so we might not get this done till tomorrow, but I'll put it all together so you can see step by step. That was the total design process. It didn't take that long, a few minutes. Close this. If I turn this off, you'll be able to see it again. See my toolpath on and off. If I click on it, it should highlight it a little better. Ooh, moving it around. Just go over here to preview. There we go. And you can do these in colors if you'd like. Do a green, light green. Ugh, it's not very good. More colors. Look at the color palette. Let's go into that green right there. That doesn't turn out that well, but gives you an idea. If I click that off and make it the material color, you'll be able to see. And that's maple. The what I'm going to be using is pine, so let's go down and find a pine. And it's going to be an old growth pine. My pine, the grain runs the other way. And maybe if anybody knows how to do that, send me a note. Just change the direction of the grain. That would, I think, would be really nice to be able to do. Old growth pine is what I have, so it looks like that. It's not really old growth, it just has wider spacings. But I think natural looks better than, see the waves on the water as they're traveling. I get all my models from Design and Make. It's the company that actually makes Vcarve. It's a spin-off company that makes the software. And this model I think costs $25 or $35. I don't remember which, but you can use it as many times as you want. You can't give it away, obviously. That would be violating the copyright, but or sell it. And I don't do either of those, but I do teach with them. So have fun with your CNC, and I'll see you out in the lab or the shop. Have a great day.